Welcome to episode 15 of Echo Without Noise. Pages that raised me. I used to think there was a right way to read. A respectable way. The kind that earned nods at book clubs and didn't invite raised eyebrows in academic circles. I used to think reading needed credentials, curated shelves, cited footnotes, a neat little badge that said, Reader. Approved. But the books that taught me the most? They didn't ask for qualifications. They asked for presence. I've read philosophy that pressed against the edges of my understanding and fiction that folded me into its softness like I was always meant to be there. I've wandered between the Bhagavadgita and cozy mysteries, economics textbooks, and mystical poetry. One day I'm reflecting on impermanence, the next, I'm caught up in a plot about a baker falling in love with a florist. And for a long time, I felt guilty about that. I'd hear people say, stick to your lane, as though curiosity was a traffic violation. I worried I was performing intelligence instead of embodying it. That I wasn't serious enough. That eclectic reading made me confusing. But slowly, quietly, I stopped apologizing. Because every time I sat with a book, it wasn't about mastery. It was about surrender. It was about trusting that even the unreadable pages were shaping something inside me. That even the novels people dismissed as fluffy were filling me with warmth I didn't know I needed. Books have held me when people didn't. They've challenged me when I needed shaking up. They've comforted me when the world felt too sharp. Reading has become my dharma. Not in the performative sense. Not in the productivity sense. But in the spiritual sense. It's a path I walk page after page, unsure of where I'll end up, but always changed when I arrive. There's this sacred in-between space when you read. It's not work, but it's not leisure either. It's soul work. It's identity building. It's remembering and reimagining. And you don't need a PhD to access it. You just need a heart that's willing to listen. Sometimes I read books that humble me. I don't understand every theory, every metaphor. But something in me still expands. Still stirs. Still says, keep going. There's wisdom here, even if you can't name it. Other times, I read purely for the joy of it. For the comfort of escaping into a world that isn't mine. For sentences that feel like home. For the pleasure of finishing a chapter with a warm drink and no agenda. And both kinds of reading matter. We don't need certificates to be readers. We don't need to stick to one genre or defend our choices. Whether we read to stretch or to soothe, we are valid. We are sacred. Books have shaped me in ways no resume could ever show. They've taught me compassion, critical thinking, nuance, forgiveness. They've helped me see others more clearly and myself with more grace. This is not a hobby. It's a devotion. It's rebellion against the noise that tells us healing must be productive, that learning must be formal, that joy must be earned. Reading is my quiet resistance. My way of saying, I don't need permission to grow. I don't need approval to feel. So to anyone who's ever felt judged for their reading choices, for skipping genres, for loving both dense philosophy and soft romance, you are not alone. You are not pretending. You are practicing. And you belong. Pick up the book that scares you. Pick up the book that comforts you. Read slowly. Read wildly. Read messily. There is no wrong way. Let others think what they will. Let the world measure worth by metrics and mastery. You measure it by the tenderness in your chest when a passage moves you. By the questions that linger after the last page. By the way you carry a new truth into your daily life, not because it was tested, but because it was felt. So yes, I'm a reader. Not by profession. Not by prestige. But by calling. I read because it opens me. Reshapes me, rebuilds me. And I will keep reading, on days when I feel brave and days when I feel broken. Because the act itself is healing. Because every page is permission. Because somewhere in the margins of these stories, I find mine. Even without a certificate. Even without a label. Even when no one's watching. This is my dharma. And I'm walking it, one book at a time.